The National Assembly held its supplementary session under the chairmanship of Parliament Speaker Marzouq Al-Ghanim. During the session, MPs approved a motion asking the governmental agencies to prepare a notification to the General Prosecutor to investigate the speeches, acts and documents that were presented and delivered at Irada Square yesterday evening on the account that they constitute crimes liable for punishment by Kuwait laws. Sarah Farah's group has more details in this report.
The National Assembly held its supplementary session today, where MPs requested authorizing the State Audit Bureau and the Anti-Fighting Corruption Authority to welcome citizens who want to present any documents or related papers that may provide evidence of corruption in the country and should be submitted within 1 month of its specified date.
We have discussed many points, but I think the main point was the refusal of the National Assembly against all the false allegations toward the judges in Kuwait and the judiciary body. And we also have directed the government to undertake their responsibilities toward all those false allegations. We've also finished we voted on the first round of a very important legislation, which is the BOT, the Build Operate Transfer. The Kuwaitis waited for a long time to correct all the problems and mistakes in this legislation, and we have tuned all these problems and mistakes, and we hope that in 2 weeks we will finalize the second round after the committee takes all the comments and notices of the MPs.
The National Assembly also approved a draft law in its first deliberation regarding Build, Operate, Transfer or BOTs and other similar projects, and also approved amendments to a decree regarding state property.
Today's session concentrated on two main issues. The legislation regarding the BOT, Buy, Operate, Transfer, which was discussed for a long time, and then it was halted for a while because there was a suggestion provided by a few members regarding the latest incidents here in Kuwait, the political incidents, and specifically regarding the allegations of bribes and the corruption that has been announced for the past few days. And there was a lot of talks about having proofs of such allegations. Therefore, the Parliament decided to discuss this matter, and at the end of the day, there was a memorandum to force the government to take this case to the court and make sure that each of these incidents, the corruption incidents that have been announced, should be investigated, and hopefully something is going to come out of this. We have to stop this nonsense that is going on, and stopping it should be through the legal channels, nothing else. This was also decided. Then we went back to the BOT law, and the law was passed in its first deliberation.
The National Assembly also approved recommendations to set up an investigative committee to follow up on the parliamentary and other violations of the Stock Market Authority, and also approved extending the committee's mandate by 2 months to allow the committee sufficient time to gather the necessary documents from the authority. During its supplementary session this week, which also extended over time for the second day in a row, members of Parliament mostly discussed the BOTs and the laws pertaining to it, and referred the amendments to a committee that will discuss and review them, and they will be discussed again in the next session during its second deliberation. From the National Assembly building, this is Sarah Gleb reporting for English News.